Tears of the Kingdom is an onion.
Onions have layers.
Tears of the Kingdom has layers.
Oh, you both have layers.
All right, today we're going to go through a heaps of tips and tricks and little things the game doesn't tell you that I have come across over the weekend. Let's go.
Cake! Everybody loves cakes. Cakes have layers.
Let me know any that you have found in the comments down below. So let's start out with like some fun tidbit things that don't really fit into any like category. They're just things that I've found that I couldn't really fit into any sort of a video. So firstly, let's talk about picking up apples. Now, picking up apples from trees is hard. You've either got to shoot them down or climb the tree, and that's a lot of work, and I honestly hate doing it. So what I've discovered is if you use Ultra Hand to, glue some apples together with your sticky glue stuff, you can basically make an apple picker. So drop a bunch of apples from your inventory on the ground, including golden apples, so you make sure you get them from the tree, stick them all together, and then this will create a save in your auto build menu for this apple monstrosity. And then you can favorite this so you never lose it. And then every time you come across an apple tree, you can pop this out and it will just automatically pick the apples off the tree for you. It really makes harvesting apples so much easier, and apples are a great fruit to have heaps of. There's even this great spot in central Hyrule that has like a massive apple farm and apple trees that you can collect. So I come back here just whenever I want some more apples, especially golden apples, and we'll talk about why they're important a little bit later in this video, but really good value in doing that. Also, if you are gliding or falling out of the sky, you should never run out of stamina. One, because what you can do is if you are just gliding, you can actually drop a glider or a wing glider from your inventory and then jump on it and then stand on it and replenish your stamina. Now, to do this, don't drop it from like your typical menu that you bring up just like with the up arrow. You need to drop it from your inventory, because there seems to be something that if you drop it from the up arrow, it will drop further away from you, whereas if you use your inventory to drop it, it actually drops closer, so you've got a bit more capability of actually landing on the glider. Now, other than that, you can use, stamina elixirs and stamina food to replenish your stamina. And also, if you really just do happen to run out of stamina and you are plummeting towards the ground, if you pop your glider just before you hit the ground, you will survive. You always have one like glider save that you can pop even with 0 stamina. So save that until you're just about to hit the ground, pop the glider, and you'll still survive that fall. You can attach a minecart or a zonai cart to your shield for easy shield surfing. I use this as my main means of getting around because I find that traveling with horses is too difficult unless I specifically need one for something. So for the most part, like if I want to get down a hill or, I don't want to use my glider, I'll typically shield surf with a minecart or a zonai cart attached to it just to make that process a little bit easier. You go a little bit faster and you get that extra durability from having that attached to your shield. And if you attach a minecart to it, you can actually ride on the minecart rails. The cherry blossom trees that you will find occasionally throughout the world, these will summon Satori if you place a piece of fruit in the offering table. Then Satori will show you where caves are nearby to this area. Caves contain a bunch of good resources, including occasionally containing armor, but they always contain a bubble frog, which you can then collect the gem from. The depths is the opposite of the surface. So every shrine on the surface has a corresponding shrine or light root on the depths and vice versa. So say if you found a shrine on the surface and you haven't found something on the depths, the chances are there will be a shrine in that exact location. And same for the depths. If you find light root in a particular location, but you haven't found the shrine matching on the surface, you just need to pop back up and find it. Do you see what I mean? How Tears of the Kingdom is an onion? All right. The Cryonis rune from the first game isn't in Tears of the Kingdom, but you can still freeze things by placing ice, whether that be throwing ice fruit at water or by using an ice weapon on water to create ice blocks that you can use to travel across these ponds and rivers. This is really valuable for some certain shrines and water-based puzzles, so you can create some simple bridges via this method. Cooking has gone through some changes in Tears of the Kingdom. Firstly, recipes are so much easier now. So any item that you have cooked with, you can click on it and click the recipe menu, and it will show you anything that you have made with that item, and then you can immediately click on that and just remake that exact recipe if you have the ingredients. You'll also find recipe cards in stables and all around, so if you're looking for specific recipes, keep an eye on the walls as you'll see posters that'll contain them, as well as in books. If you can't be bothered cooking, you can obviously eat things, but if you will need to make, say, heat resistance food, you can throw some ice in it, or if you want to roast something, you can throw some fire at it. And if you are struggling with, say, a rain putting out your fires or stopping you from throwing fire at things, you can actually just build a little roof and it will block the rain. Blood moons will always trigger critical food effects. Now, critical food effects is when you hear that extra little jingle and that means that you've essentially doubled the effects of the food that you've cooked. You can also do this with golden apples at any time. So if you've got a golden apple, you can add it to a recipe. It does take up one slot in the recipe, but it will always make it a critical food cook. So that's why farming apples are more important in this game as well. Rune abilities and the contraptions that you can make with Ultra Hand is like a core part of this game. Now, the more charges that you put into a Zonai device dispenser, the more devices it will spit out. Obviously, the large Zonai charges as well will spit out more things. Now, all the different device dispensers in the world will contain different devices. So check on the map screen to see if you're looking for a particular device, which one to go to try and find it. You can also use those charges to increase your battery life temporarily, either by the energy boost from the large or just giving you some yellow battery life with the smaller charges. If you're trying to get a glider or something into the air but you don't have a ramp, you can lift it up with Ultra Hand and then jump on that device, rewind it to put it back up in the air. Rewind is a critical skill. Like, you can do so many cool things with rewind. Highly recommend tinkering with it, like building platforms above you and then, you know, rewinding something up there so you can get up higher, or bridges across things. Rewind is fantastic. You can also reset anything you're using with Ultra Hand when you're rotating it by pressing the ZL button. So it'll reset it to make it flat, which if you're stuck like trying to get the rotations right, it definitely helps for that. And any vehicles and things you're building, you don't actually need a platform. You can just like stick wheels or fans and something together and whack a steering stick on it and you're good to go. I have wasted so much time using gliders and carts and that sort of thing to build vehicles if I'm trying to get around, but you don't actually need to have like something to attach them to. Just like build some wheels or some fans and away you go. And for any of those contraptions you do build, they will despawn if you get too far away from them or you get into a shrine, like you leave the zone. So just be mindful of that if you have got a vehicle and you've spent a lot of time building it, that, you know, you will lose it in those scenarios. Let's talk about some combat tips. Now, I have a full video breaking down all the different fuses and some different tips for weapons and that sort of thing, so go and watch that. But just a quick couple of things on fuses. Muddle buds will confuse the enemy, making them attack themselves. Dazzle fruits are much more important than I thought they were, as you can use it to make any enemy drop their actual weapon. So say if you just want their weapon or you want them to stop attacking you for a period of time, just drop a dazzle fruit and it will stop them from attacking. Puff shrooms are great to create a smoke screen effect they can later sneak away. Now, if you're struggling with heat or cold resistance, you can fuse a sapphire to your shield to keep you cool, or a ruby to your shield to keep you warm, and then if an enemy does actually hit the shield, it will trigger that effect as well. And you can fuse certain items to your shield, say like whips that have effects on them that when you parry, it will trigger that effect as well without having to worry about an enemy even hitting you. Say in this instance, I've got like an ice whip attached to my shield and I can just trigger that ice effect whenever I like. You can recall rocks and other things that enemies have thrown at you back at them. This is great, especially on those big stone bosses. While gliding above enemies, you can become like an air bomber and drop any sort of fruits like bomb flowers or dazzle fruits onto enemies and trigger their effects as they hit the ground, and they won't see you, as enemies literally never look up. And I did mention this in my weapons video, but I think it's worth calling out that Octo Rocks are great to repair any weapons that you want to keep and also add additional effects to them. All you have to do is put your weapon on the ground in front of them, have them hoover it up, and then they'll throw it back at you with a fully repaired weapon and an extra effect on it. Though an Octo Rock can only do this once per respawn, but it is highly efficient if you've got a really powerful weapon that you want to keep. Let me know in the comments your own tips and what else you'd like to see for Tears of the Kingdom. Thank you guys for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is NorZZa and I hope you have a great day.